Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we're going to learn how to sync Notion database with Google Calendar. So I am an owner of a business and I create events of the meetings that I'm going to organize in my company in my Google Calendar. So here my objective is that as soon as I'm going to create a new event in my Google Calendar, automatically I want to add the data in my database in my Notion account of the event that we are creating. For that, what we are going to do is we're going to simply create an automation between Google Calendar and Notion with the help of Pabbly Connect. Pabbly Connect runs on two concepts, that is trigger and action. In this process, my trigger application is going to be Google Calendar and my action application is going to be Notion. So if you want to learn how to do this amazing automation, then let me take you all to my screen. In this video, we're going to learn how to sync Notion database with Google Calendars using Pabbly Connect. So I'm an owner of a business and I create events related to the meetings that are going to be organized in my company in my Google Calendars. So my objective is that as soon as I'm going to create the meeting or an event in my Google Calendars, automatically a data item should be created in my Notion account. For that, what we are going to do is we are going to simply create an automation between Google Calendars and Notion with the help of Pabbly Connect. So on the screen, you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign into our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. So as I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign into my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pabbly Apps window in front of you, in which you can see the 5 applications of Pabbly, from which we are going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on Access Now. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this top right corner button right over here that says Create Workflow. Then a new dialog box is going to appear in front of you, which is asking for a workflow name. So I'm going to give a name to my workflow as Sync Notion database with Google Calendars using Pabbly Connect. So this is the name that I want to give to my workflow. Okay. Next over here, it is asking for us to select a folder. On the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. For that, click on this drop down arrow right over here, and these are the folders from which I'm going to select Google Calendars automations as the folder I want to save this workflow in. After giving a name to a workflow and selecting the folder, let's click on Create in order to create a workflow. A workflow is created in the name of Sync Notion database with Google Calendar using Pabbly Connect, and there are 2 windows in front of you. One over here says trigger, other says action. Trigger and action are the 2 most important steps of our automation process, because our process depends on these 2 concepts. Over here, trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means our action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. Firstly, what we are going to do is we're going to set up our trigger step. For that, click on this arrow right over here. And for the trigger application over here, we are going to be selecting it as Google Calendar. So we're going to select our trigger application as Google Calendar. And for the trigger event, we are going to select it as new event. We are selecting our trigger application as Google Calendar, the trigger event as new event, because whenever we are going to create a new event in our Google Calendar, automatically Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response. Okay. So after selecting the trigger application and the event, we're going to click on Connect in order to connect Google Calendar with Pabbly Connect. And then a new window is going to appear, on which we have to click on Add New Connection. But if you want, you can select the existing connection. After that, we're going to click on Sign In with Google. Then a new dialog box is going to appear, which is asking for a permission. I'm going to click on Allow. As this is a safe process and my data is perfectly saved with Pabbly Connect, so I'm going to click on Allow right over here. As you can see that we successfully authorized Google Calendar with Pabbly Connect. So after setting up our trigger application and the event, over here it is asking for us to select a calendar. So I've created a calendar in the name of events, as you can see right over here. So for the calendar over here, I'm going to select it as events. Okay. And I want to tell you all one thing, that if you're not going to get the response of the new event that has been created in a Google Calendars immediately, then please do not worry, because over here you can see it says 10 minutes. This 10 minutes is the polling duration, as Google Calendar is a polling based application. That means in every 10 minutes, whenever a new data is going to be captured by Google Calendar, automatically in every 10 minutes, it is going to send the new data to Pabbly Connect. Okay. So if you're not going to get the response immediately, then do not worry. Okay. And if you want to make any changes in this polling duration right over here, then you can contact us on Pabbly forum. Okay. So after that, over here it says is save and send test request. As soon as we're going to click on save and send test request, what will happen is in place of this response, we are going to receive the response of the latest event that has been created in our Google Calendar. So now what we are going to do is, before clicking on save and send test request, we are going to add an event in this calendar right over here. For that, click on this create and this event right over here. Okay. After that, it is asking for the title of the event. For the title of the event, I'm going to give it as meeting. Okay. So this is the title of the event, that is meeting. For the date over here, I'm going to select a date as, let's suppose 7th of June. Okay. And for the timing, I'm going to select it as from 2 to 4. Okay, so this is the timing and the date over here. Okay, next over here it is asking for all these details. I'm going to add a description in this meeting right over here. So I want to write the description of my meeting as, this is a description of my meeting to review project progress, address any issue, and ensure alignment or upcoming task and deadlines. So this is the description of the meeting right over here. So as I've filled in all the details that I require, I'm going to click on save right over here. And as you can see over here, meeting is successfully created in our Google Calendar. So this is the event. The name of the event is meeting. For the date as June 7th, that is Friday. For the time being as 2 to 4 p.m. And this is the description right over here. Okay, so this means that it's fully added an event in our Google Calendar. Now we're going to click on save and send test request. After click on save and send test request, over here you can see a response is captured in our Pabbly Connect. If we're going to tally the response for the name of the title of our event, that is meeting right over here. Okay, for the date over here, the date is given right over here. And for the description over here, you can see the description that we have added in our meeting right over here. Okay, so this means that we successfully created a connection between Google Calendar and Pabbly Connect, and our trigger setup is done. After setting up our trigger step, we need to set up our action step, as our objective is that as soon as an event is going to be created in our Google Calendar, automatically a data item should be created in our Notion. So what we are going to do is we're going to set up our action step, and for the action application over here, we are going to select it as Notion. So I'm going to select my action application as Notion, and for the action event, I'm going to select it as create database item. After selecting the action application and the event, we're going to click on connect in order to connect Notion with Pabbly Connect. After that, over here it is asking for us to select a connection. I'm going to select a new connection, but if you want, you can select the existing connection. After that, we're going to click on connect with Notion. As soon as you go to click on connect with Notion, over here a new dialog box is going to appear. Over here it is asking for us to select a page. So I've created a page over here in the name of Google Calendar meeting. So for the page over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a page, and for the name of my page, I'm going to select it as Google Calendar meetings. As you can see that I've already added Google Calendar meetings. Now I'm going to click on allow access, as this is a safe process and my data is perfectly safe with Pabbly Connect. And as you can see that we successfully authorized Notion with Pabbly Connect. Okay, after authorizing, over here it is asking for us to select a database. For the database, I'm going to select the database as Google Calendar meetings. Okay, so after that, over here it is asking for the status. So in my database, I've created few fields in the name of the name, that is the title of the event that we are creating in our Google Calendar, the date of the event, the description of the event, and the status of the event. Okay, so these are the same fields that I've created in my Notion. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to fill in all the details. For the status over here, what we are going to do is we are going to map the data. Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we are going to insert the data from the previous step of this automation process from here. And how are we going to do that? As soon as you go to click on this field right over here, it says Google Calendar new event. So this was the previous step of this automation process right over here, and if I'm going to click on this arrow, this was the same response that was captured in our previous step. Okay, over here it is asking for the status. So for the status over here, I'm going to select it as confirmed. So this is the status that I have received in a previous response right over here. And as I map the data right over here, what happens is the data has now become dynamic. That means whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the data right over here in place of this map data is going to be updated. Okay, next over here it is asking for the description. For the description over here, what we are going to do is we're going to map the data of the description that we have received in our previous response. Okay, next over here it is asking for us to select a date, and in this important note right over here, if you want to have the data of the date mapped right over here, we have to use the format as year, month, and date right over here. So what we are going to do is we're going to add an action step in this automation process by clicking on this plus button right over here. And for the action application over here, we are going to select it as date/time formatter by Pabbly. With the help of this amazing feature by Pabbly Connect, we are going to change the date and time format that we have received. And for the action event as format date with time zone, and then we're going to click on connect. For the date over here, we're going to map the data of the date of which we have to change the format of. So for the date over here, I'm going to map the data of the date, that is start date right over. I'm going to map this data because we want to change this format in year, month and date format. Okay, for the from format, I'm going to select it as UTC time zone format, as we have received the time over here in a UTC time zone format. So for the from format, I'm going to select it as UTC time zone format. And for the to format over here, we're going to select it as year, month and date. As you can see right over, we're going to select this format because we want this format over here. Okay, for the from format time zone over here, as we have received the time and the date in a UTC time zone format. So for the from, I'm going to select it as ETC/UTC, and for the to also, I'm going to select it as ETC/UTC over here. Okay, and after that, we're going to click on save and send test request. As soon as you're going to do that, over here you're going to receive a response, and in the result we have received the date in an year, month and date format right over here. So what we are going to do is, in our Notion step right over, for the date we are going to map the data of this date result that we have received in our datetime formatter. Okay, over here it is asking for the name of our meeting, so we're going to map the data, the title of our event right over here. Okay, after filling all the details, it is asking for the content right away. As I don't require the step, I'm going to skip the part. If you want, you can add the details right over here. Okay, so after filling all the details, now I'm going to click on save and send test request. As you can see that after clicking on save and send test request, a response is received, and the response that we have received is a positive response. So now I'm going to open my database in my Notion account, and I'm going to check whether a new database item is created in my Notion account or not. For that, I'm going to open my Notion account, and yes, as you can see right over here, a new database item is added in this page right over here. For the name as meeting, date as 7th of June 2024. For the description of the event that we have added in our Google Calendar, and for the status as confirmed. So this means that we successfully created an automation between Google Calendars and Notion with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum up till now what we have done, I'm an owner of a business and I create events related to the meetings that are going to be recently organized in my company in my Google Calendar. So here my objective is that as soon as I'm going to add a new event in my Google Calendar, automatically I want to create a record of that event in my Notion database. For that, what we have done is we have simply created an automation between Google Calendar and Notion with the help of Pabbly Connect. So if you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment down below if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video. Not just with these applications, you can create automation with the help of Pabbly Connect between multiple applications. If you have any doubts, you can send us email on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can ask your queries on forum.pabbly.com. If you have any queries regarding the pricing of Pabbly Connect, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment down below if you have any questions and doubts, and please share this video, and thank you for watching.